Uh, I'm just sorry. I'm just gonna come out and say it about. I'm gonna talk about Assassin's Creed Shadows. After trying out the game, after seeing a number of reviews before I purchased the game, my personal experience with the game is not that good, honestly. Like, if you're going in for your first Assassin's Creed experience and stuff like that, there are better games, honestly. Like, you can just play old games like Assassin's Creed Origins or Odyssey or Valhalla. Even Valhalla, it's a better game than Shadows. I don't know, and I know a lot of people disagree with me on that. But personally, let me just say why I don't think Assassin's Creed Shadows isn't good and why the price tag doesn't justify it. First of all, Assassin's Creed Shadows is marketed as a AAA game and it has the AAA price tag and all that. Honestly, it's not worth the price tag. You're not getting a AAA game for a couple of reasons. One, story. The story is boring as shit. After playing the game, after playing the game for like 2 hours and some such, I will say that the game is boring as shit. I was streaming the game and I was half asleep most of the time until the combat shows up, which is the only saving grace of the game. If you enjoy the type of combat from Odyssey or Valhalla, you're probably going to enjoy this one as well, because it's the only saving grace the game has. Graphics wise, honestly, graphics don't sell it to me. Don't get me wrong, the graphics are really good. People talk about the graphics quite a lot. Oh, it's very good, it looks pretty, yada 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 yada, which is true. The game looks pretty, but again, graphics don't sell it for me. It's basically having a turd wrapped in gold. It's still a turd at the end of the day. And this is Assassin's Creed Shadows. It looks pretty, but it has no, how to put it, no, not context, doesn't have any, what's the word I'm looking for here? Depth to it? Content, I guess. That would be a fitting word for it. Uh, and I've seen people complain about it and saying that the quests itself, like the locations you explore on the map, are repetitive. But let's be real, in every single other Assassin's Creed game, that's literally what you do. You go to point A to point B, you go to a camp, like look at Odyssey for example. You go from point A to point B, and it's usually a kill the guys in this camp, loot the fucking camp, and move on. But the difference is that in Odyssey, you have side quests and other shit that is enjoyable to do. You enjoy exploring the map, not just because of the side quests, but also because there's a lot of stuff to see in the game. With Assassin's Creed Shadows, not so much. Not so much. And some people might have a problem with that, some people might not. It's up to you to try it out and see it. For me personally, I don't find it that big of a deal going from point A to point B and killing some motherfuckers and then looting the whole place. I don't dislike that repetitive gameplay because you've seen this type of gameplay in other games before. You see it in Mad Max, you see it in Odyssey, you see it in Origins, Valhalla, you name it. It exists in pretty much every fucking game that is open world. And I don't really dislike that part of the game. But again, it's not enough to grab me. The game needs to be more. Because again, it's a AAA game, so the standards are going to be higher. You need something that justifies the price tag. And right now you don't have much that actually justifies it aside from the combat. Which, speaking of which, the combat is literally just mashing light attacks and heavy attacks. Literally. In fact, the combat is so, I was gonna say watered down, but I guess the proper word would be repetitive. The combat is so repetitive that they actually have an option in the game, a setting that you can toggle on, that allows you to single press one button and it does the whole combo for you. You don't have to do shit, you just press one button, the combo is done by the game. Which, in one hand, makes you go, that's kind of good. On the other hand, it's like, why? Why, in the sense, would you make a combat so watered down that you can just single press one setting? You can toggle on a setting on the game, and it does the combat for you. basically. I mean, props to them, don't get me wrong. Props to them for giving options. I enjoy options in my video games. I like these options because it allows me to play the game the way I want it to play. But again, it's not enough. They're doing too little. What's the saying again? Too much, too little. You know, it's too late. Too little, too late. That's the expression I wanted. Damn it. Uh, because again, the story doesn't really connect. At least to me, it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like a story that actually grips you. You know, like with Origins, from the moment the fucking game starts, you see Bayek brutally murdering a dude that's one of the Templars or whatever. Uh, and that shit looks brutal, and then you go to do the rest of the campaign, and it has you. You know, it has your attention. You know shit's gonna get real very quickly. And with Odyssey, you see the same thing. You have a plot twist after plot twist. You start off the game, you're just a Misthios, you're going around Kefalonia, and then you get an assassination contract. And then you find out it's your dad. And then the game reveals to you that your dad tried to kill you. There's a plot twist along the game that keeps grabbing your attention and making you want more. But with Assassin's Creed Shadows, there's none of that shit. I played the game for 2 hours and something, and I was bored. Legit bored. I didn't feel invested in the story, even when I was playing as Naoe and Yasuke. I didn't feel anything for any of those characters because they're so one-dimension characters, you know? They don't really have much to offer for the plot or the story. They're just bland as shit. I guess the best way to put it is they're self-inserts or some shit like that. I don't know. I don't want to dive too deep into the politics involving this game because, let's be honest, Ubisoft managed to step on as many toes as possible during the making of this game. It got so bad that the fucking Japanese prime minister is talking about it, so yeah. And I don't want to dive too deep into that shit because you're entering a whole new field that I don't want to dive too deep into. I just want to talk about the game itself. If you ignore the politics, the only thing the game has is graphics. That's it. Graphics and combat. If that's enough for you, buy the game, but don't buy it full price. It's just not worth it. If it's not worth for you, if you're like me and you need more than just graphics and combat, then you're probably not gonna enjoy this game. Because story-wise, it's completely bland, doesn't exist. Characters are bland as fuck. The map is huge, but again, locations, there isn't much to do in it. It's basically big for big's sake. It's a nothing burger at the end of the day. So, in terms of options though, I will say this. Ubisoft tried to please everyone with the options. Which brings us back to the whole setting of the combat, where you can just press one button and it does the combo on auto mode. They try to please everyone, and by that I mean that you have options for removing the dialogue. If you don't like the RPG elements of the game, you can remove those. And you can basically put the immersive mode and the canon mode. The canon mode is basically removing the dialogue and just letting the story play out how it was supposed to. You don't have to do shit, you don't have to select dialogue or anything of that. I didn't try it, personally, because at the time I thought, oh, okay, Assassin's Creed, let's fucking go. Give me more of Odyssey or something of the sort. I will probably enjoy it. But I didn't. The story was boring as shit. And making decisions didn't really feel impactful because, again, I didn't give a shit about any of the characters or any of the situations where the story was happening. So I started really considering, before I refunded the game, I started considering, why don't I try out the other modes, the canon mode or some shit like that. I also played in immersive mode. Immersive mode was pretty good in terms of voice acting. Because the English voice acting, it sucks ass. It sucks ass completely. So toggle on immersive mode if you want decent voice acting. But again, decent voice acting and the gameplay and the graphics, it's not enough to grab my attention. You need a solid story for a single player game. And Ubisoft managed instead to, in old Ubisoft fashion, they decided to just upgrade the store. basically. Microtransactions is a fucking nightmare in this game. It's purposely made so that you have to literally buy shit. It's predatory as fuck. What's that? You want to reveal the whole map? There's an option for that. Pay with real money. You want to facilitate your base building thing? You need resources and shit like that? Guess what? You can pay real money for that. So they managed to fuck up in every single step that was required for the game to succeed, for the game to be good. So basically the story, the locations to explore and things like that. And yet they prioritize the fucking store. The store works perfectly. If you're into that, which I doubt it, but if you're into that, the store works. As for the leveling up is a fucking nightmare. I hate it. It's not enough about you just leveling up. You also need knowledge scrolls or whatever the fuck that shit is. How do you get those? You need to go to locations in the map and right click and observe the entire place until you find the scroll that you need, which is basically a few collectibles. In other words, in order to you get a skill, to unlock a skill, even though you're already leveled up, you need knowledge scrolls, otherwise you're not going to be able to get the skill. It makes leveling up a fucking chore, and it makes exploring a chore as well. It makes it tedious, because they go hand in hand together, which they shouldn't, honestly. Like, in Origin and Odyssey, you would explore the map because you wanted to. You wanted to see these locations. You wanted to explore and have fun. And by basically playing the game, not necessarily by exploring, but by just simply enjoying the game, you would level up and you would acquire skills which facilitates your journey throughout the game. But with Assassin's Creed Shadows, they managed to fuck that shit up too. Leveling up feels like a chore, and you can only do so if you go to specific locations in the map and acquire knowledge scrolls. So yeah, overall, I don't think the game is good. It's one of those games that if you want to try it out, try it with a friend who already made the mistake of buying the game. And if you want to buy the game, I guess, to support Ubisoft because you don't want it to go bankrupt, personally for me it's indifferent. On one hand, I'm sad Assassin's Creed is over. On the other hand, I completely agree that Ubisoft should burn to the fucking ground. I don't care which side you're on. As long as I get good games at the end of the day, I don't give a shit. And with this one, it's just not good. So if you want to try it out, try it at one of those like 70% discounts or some shit like that, because the game is just not worth it at all. It's just not worth it. Even on Instant Gaming, where you can basically purchase the game, I'll probably put a link down below. I still don't think the price tag justifies it, honestly. So it's up to you to decide whether you want to play it or not. That's all I gotta say about the game. It was a bit convoluted of a rant, but nonetheless, I hope I talked about the stuff that was more important. Anywho, bye-bye.